Homo novus was the term in ancient Rome for a man who was the first in his family to serve in the Roman Senate, or, more specifically, to be elected as consul. When a man entered public life on an unprecedented scale for a high communal office, then the term used was novus civis, or new citizen. History in the early Republic tradition held that both Senate membership and the consulship were restricted to patricians. When plebeians gained the right to this office during the conflict of the orders, all newly elected plebeians were naturally novi homines. With time, novi homines became progressively rarer as some plebeian families became as entrenched in the Senate as their patrician colleagues. By the time of the First Punic War, it was already a sensation that novi homines were elected in 2 consecutive years. In 63 BC, Cicero became the first novus homo in more than 30 years. By the late Republic, the distinction between the orders became less important. The consuls came from a new elite, the nobiles, an artificial aristocracy of all who could demonstrate direct descent in the male line from a consul. List of novi homines: Lucius Volumnius Flammivillans, Gaius Duilius, Gaius Fundinius Fundulus, Gaius Lutatius Catulus, Gaius Flaminius Nepos, Marcus Porcius Cato, Lucius Licinius Lucullus, Lucius Mummius Achaicus, Gaius Marius, Gnaeus Malleus Maximus, Gaius Caelius Caldus, Marcus Tullius Cicero, Marcus Fernicius, Gaius Pomponius Graecinus, Gaius Cornelius Tacitus. Topos of the New Man. The literary theme of Homo Novus, or how the lowly born but inherently worthy man may properly rise to eminence in the world, was the topos of Seneca's influential epistle XLIV. At the end point of late antiquity, it was likewise a subject in Boethius, a consolation of philosophy. In the Middle Ages, Dante's Convivia and Petrarch's De Remediis Utriusque Fortuna take up the subject, and Chaucer's Wife of Bath's Tale. In its Christian renderings, the theme suggested a tension in the scala natura, or great chain of being, one that was produced through the agency of man's free will. The theme came naturally to Renaissance humanists, who were often homines novi rising by their own wits in a network of noble courts that depended on the highly literate new men to run increasingly complicated chancelleries and create the cultural propaganda that was a contemporary vehicle for noble fame, and that consequently offered a kind of intellectual cursus honorum. In the 15th century, Buona Corso da Montemagno's Dialogus de Vera Nobilitate treated of the true nobility inherent in the worthy individual. Poggio Bracciolini also wrote at length De Nobilitate, stressing the Renaissance view of human responsibility and effectiveness that are at the heart of humanism. Sicut virtutitiae e nobilitatis sibi quisque existit aucta aop fex. Briefer summaries of the theme were to be found in Francesco Patrici, De Institutione Republici, and in Rodrigo Sanchez de Arevalo's Encyclopedic Speculum Vitae Humani. In the 16th century, these and new texts came to be widely printed and distributed. Sanchez de Arevalo's Speculum was first printed at Rome, 1468, and there are more than 20 15th-century printings. German, French and Spanish translations were printed. Geronimo Osorio da Fonseca's De Nobilitate, stressing propria strenuitas, received an English translation in 1576. The Roman figure most often cited as an exemplar is Gaius Marius, whose speech of self-justification was familiar to readers from the set piece in Salus Spellum Thinem. 85. The most familiar format in the Renaissance treatises is a dialogue that contrasts the two sources of nobility, with the evidence weighted in favor of the new man.